Hi, Akash.
Good morning. Good
Meeting
morning.
is started.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Good morning, fellow educators from India. I'm Dr. Akash Raut. I am sure a lot of you know me because you must have seen me in your school. You must have uh, heard me talking at some webinar or at some workshop. So it's really nice to see all of you in the room, although the cameras are turned off, but I can see a couple of familiar names. Let's wait for another 2 to 3 minutes till other educators join the room. Meanwhile, why don't you all open the chat box and just type your name, which school are you from, and for how many months or years have you been doing early years at your school? All right, we have almost 90 people in the room. Great. So let's begin the session and some house rules. You will have a chat option to put the responses whenever I ask you some questions. If you have any specific Q&A for me, please post the questions in the Q&A section. Okay. And wherever needed, I'll keep asking you some queries, some questions. Please keep on responding it in the chat box so that we can make it as interactive as possible. Uh, there will be some documents which I'll be sharing with you all. So don't worry, you will be getting the documents in an email as well. So if you are able to scan the documents now, nothing like it. If you are not able to scan it, just don't be troubled because we'll be sharing those documents to you in the due course of time. I think there are a couple of more people joining in because there were more than 200 people who had signed up. All right. I think the number has reached above 100 now. So let's start from here. So good morning once again, everyone, those who have joined just now. And let's get started with this webinar on navigating new horizons. Cambridge Early Years Update. What's new from Cambridge? There has been a lot of talk. So what I thought was, let's keep a webinar which is for all the educators in one go. Talk to them, keep them updated. And if you have any queries, I'll be sharing my email ID towards the end. We also have an email ID which is dedicated exclusively for our schools. You can get in touch with us over there and get your queries sorted. So to begin with, just a quick background for those who are not aware and also those who are aware of Cambridge and what does Cambridge want to do in the education domain. We are an educational partner. We are a curriculum body, and our main role is to work with schools worldwide to build an education that shapes knowledge, understanding, and skills. Now, when I say this, the primary motto is to give the learners the opportunity to learn better. Exams, grades, marks, everything are the byproducts. However, the main focus is to give our learners the confidence that they need to thrive in the world that they are going to live in, the world which is ever evolving, it's changing dynamically every day, and to make our children ready to create that positive impact on the world that they are going to live in. We offer Cambridge Pathway. So a lot of you in this room offer Cambridge Pathway right from early years till advanced level. Some of you offer Cambridge early years and primary. Some are exclusively doing Cambridge early years. So the schools which offer Cambridge early years is known as a Cambridge Early Years Center. You get a different registration number and a different plaque to be posted at your school, which is primarily a way in which you communicate about yourself to your parents and the community you are from. Uh, what are we going to do now is I want you all to just take your notepads. I'm sure you would be sitting with your notebooks, notepad, diary. I want you to think about these four corners, the four compass points. That's not south, east, west, but I have named them as what are you excited about or what excites you about the Cambridge early years? Now that you have been doing it for 1 year, 2 years, couple of months, what is the upside? What do you think is a really good sign that we love it? What are your worries? If there are any worries that you have, if there are any concerns that you have, what are your concerns? Okay. The N stands for what is it that you want to know more? What is it that you need to know more to implement the curriculum better? And lastly, towards the end of this session, okay, towards the end of the webinar, when you listen to me, when you get some new updates, what changes are you going to bring to your current pattern of implementation? So what will be a suggestion for moving forward? So I'm giving all of you just 2 minutes to pen down your thoughts in your diaries, in your notepads. And if you all can respond to the E part. What is it that excites you about Cambridge early years in the chat box so that we can celebrate our success stories in this webinar? I'm giving you 2 to 3 minutes to do this and your time starts now. For those who have joined the meeting just now, good morning. I'm Dr. Akash and we have just begun the webinar. I have started with a simple task where I want all of you to think and reflect about your journey so far. What has excited you about early years? What are a couple of your worries? And what is it that you need to know more? And what is the suggestion you are going to give it to yourself when it comes to correct implementation of the program? Okay, I can see Miss Akanksha typing skill-specific learning and not a portion, syllabus or activity that are done without thought of the impact on the child. Very true. The intent and the impact of what we are doing is important. Miss Arpita, I'll come to the queries part in a while. In the chat box, I want you to put your success stories, something that went really well in your school, something that excites you about early years program. Miss Amrita says, the fact that we play such a pivotal role in shaping these very young learners, young minds in their crucial formative years and build a foundation for the road ahead makes me very excited. Lovely. I so resonate with this. Ms. Shravani says, excited about the activities for each topic. Good. A whole frame curriculum with planned activities which makes easy to execute. Perfect. The curriculum which is acclaimed globally. Very true. It's an international curriculum. Boost confidence in learners, focusing on holistic development, excites the impact and Cambridge learning activities, holistic development again, playway learning. Absolutely. Please do not forget the playway pedagogy because that's the core of Cambridge early years. It's a wholesome program and it ensures all-round development of learners. Excited about the hands-on activities, worried about the EY to make them independent, need to know about assessment. Okay. It's an activity. It's not an activity-based program. Let's not call it as an activity-based program. It's a play-based pedagogy. It focuses on active learning and metacognition. It makes the child self-regulated. So when we start using the right terminologies, it helps us to talk to the parent body with the right mindset and the right context. All right, so I could see a lot of hands-on activities, strong foundation, gives a learner the choice to learn, make them fall in love with learning. Excited about the new ways of teaching the young minds, improve their cognitive as well as non-cognitive skills. Perfect. Cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain, the three domains of Bloom's taxonomy. Sadly, we have been focusing majorly on, as educators, on the cognitive domain, which is the pyramid, the verbs that we use for creating the lesson plan. But there are also those affective, that is social emotional, and psychomotor domains, which we sadly keep aside. So on this note, let's move forward and see what is Cambridge bringing new to us. So I am assuming that my fellow educators in this room are already aware of all of this, what I have shown on the screen. Okay, so the integration which Cambridge has in its early years program, that is, we strongly focus on the integration of curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. These three important elements go hand in hand. To complete them, Cambridge has given learning statements, and I believe all of you in this room who have been doing early years program are aware of it. If you are not aware of it, please make these specific notes in your diary, because I believe a lot of you who have attended my workshops, orientations, I have very categorically mentioned about these elements. Secondly, the key principles document. There are 12 key principles which every educator in an early years school should be aware of. Okay, if you haven't had an access to key principles even now, please go to the school support hub. The key principles document is available under curriculum section. Download it, read it, and share it with your team members. And through these key principles, we have our 5 major approaches, what you all mentioned just now. Make learning experiential, make it connected to the real life that they live in, make it connected to the community that they come from, their home, their family, so that learning becomes more meaningful and dynamic for the learners. Along with that, Cambridge says that learning has to be completely active so that the child feels confidence, taking up their own learning, shaping their ideas, thoughts, understanding responsibility, which affects their learning in a positive way in a longer run. Thirdly, as one of the fellow educators mentioned, not just cognitive, but also non-cognitive domains. That's what we do by balancing it out with not just academics, but also keeping a structured balance between physical, social, emotional, language, mathematics, all the other domains that the child need uh, to function as a learner in the coming years. Fourth, the focus is not on rote learning and didactic learning and making them write A to Z and then two-letter word and then 1 to 100. No, that's not what Cambridge promotes. Cambridge says that learning has to be play-based so that the child is taken care of in a holistic manner. And play-based activities are both child-led as well as adult-led, which should be age-appropriate. Lastly, the Cambridge early years has been mapped out very clearly. Please look at the transition guides, which we have uploaded on the School Support Hub. They have always been there. If you haven't had a look at them, please download them. These are Excel sheets, Microsoft Excel sheets, which guides the educators and leaders about how is the early years child going to prepare for Cambridge Primary and so on. Furthermore, the 6 curriculum areas, I'm sure you all are aware of it. We don't call it as English, we call it as communication language literacy, because a child first begins to communicate. Then the child understands the concept of sounds, which is a medium of language. And then comes the literacy elements, which is reading and writing. Now, here I would like to make a point. A lot of schools have been asking that Cambridge has very little element to write and all. That's not correct. If you look at the curriculum document which Cambridge has given, and there are those learning statements which clearly mentions about the achievable objectives or achievable outcomes for the children of those age groups, the activities and engagements which are curated around it are aligned to their age level. However, if any of you in this room feel that we want more writing and our parents demand a lot of writing, or as a region, writing has always been a lot that we have been doing in our school, you can continue doing that as well. So Cambridge gives you that flexibility to inculcate extra writing in your school curriculum, because that's what is the demand of your school. However, see to it that you don't pressurize children in a lot of writing only. Writing should take up organically. Start with simple activities like make them write in the air or on the sand, or give them crayons. I always keep on telling in my workshops, put newspapers at the height of children around the room and keep on helping them with scribbling until and unless their fine motor skills are not going to develop. Making them just write slanting line and sleeping line and A is not going to work. So please understand the pedagogy, please understand the curriculum. And for that, it's really important that educators read the documents which Cambridge provides on the School Support Hub. Just opening the book and walking into the classroom is not going to help. A friendly suggestion from my end. Furthermore, we have mathematics, we have physical development, personal, social, emotional development, understanding the world, and creative expression. So these 6 curriculum areas has got sub strands. So if you look at mathematics, it talks about numbers, developing a sense of numbers, handling data, or shape, space, measure, which is nothing but the foundations of what they study in numbers, statistics, or geometry in the higher grades. So when you look at Cambridge curriculum areas or subject areas, they're very uh, microscopically curated to meet the demands of the higher grades. And to fulfill those, we have the books, and I'm sure you all have been using these books. There is a learner kit with 7 books. Okay, the skill book for literacy, mathematics, understanding the world, personal, social, emotional development. There is a rhyme book, and then there is a literacy and numeracy workbook. Now, these 7 books go hand in hand with the teacher's book. And that is something I have been again telling at my workshops. Please look at the teacher's book if you haven't had a look at it till now. The teacher's book has got all the lesson plans and all the ways in which the teachers are expected to conduct the lesson. All the content in with regards to what to teach, how to teach, about assessment, the guidance is given in the teacher's book. So those who have the concerns about assessments, please refer to the teacher's book. That is number one, because there are lots of strategies already put over there for teachers to understand about how to go ahead with the assessments. Now, this is about the journey so far. Okay. Now, what have we done hereafter? So, a lot of people have created misconceptions, and I don't know, there has been a lot of confusion with regards to the curriculum is changing. There is a new curriculum coming in. So I would like to just mention one thing. The curriculum, which used to be the 124-page long document with all the learning statements, is already an international curriculum. So the international experts from around the world and the research team at Cambridge, they have curated those learning statements. However, the resources which we were using were specific to India, because the schools in our country were using a lot of materials which were at a starting point of their own journey as a pre-primary school. So to start with the curriculum, please be mindful that the curriculum document has got updated wherever applicable. So that amendment has taken place, and you will find the new curriculum document on the School Support Hub. It is now 168-page long. Now, what all has got updated, I will take you through it in a while. But just to give you a brief about it, earlier we used to only have communication language literacy for EY1, EY2, and EY3. EY1 is our 3 to 4 years old, EY2 is 4 to 5 years old, and EY3 is 5 to 6 years old. What has Cambridge done now? In EY1, we will continue to have communication language literacy, because that's the first formal year of the students to come into school. In EY2 and EY3, we have got segregation between first language English and English as a second language. Now, schools can decide whether they want to go with first language English or English as a second language, so that they can cater to the requirement of their students. There is no change for English as a first language or second language learner book. The learner book remains the same. The content remains the same. However, the approach with which the teacher will teach the students has changed. So if you have a story on save trees in your learner books, okay, or the first story which you have, there is a story I remember on Chiku. Now, if there are students in your class who are second language English speakers, you will follow the lesson plan as per English as second language. For the same story, if you have learners who are first language English speakers, you do first language English in your school, you will still take the same story and use the plan for the first language English. So that's how we have amended the curriculum. With regards to teaching and learning resources, majorly all the books remain the same, except Understanding the World. There are a couple of changes in the learner skill book for Understanding the World, and the teacher books for EY1, EY2, and EY3 have got updated. So there are lots of new lesson plans, new activities as per the changes in this document, which you will see in the teacher's book. Lastly, when it comes to assessment, Cambridge always provided a document called Transition to EY1. I'm not sure how many of you have had a look at it, but please go through it. It's available on the School Support Hub. You may note it down, Transition to EY1. This document basically talks about when the child comes to the school at the start of EY1, that is 3-year-old, how do you assess and how do you know where is the child at that point? And Cambridge, if you can read it on the screen, the whole purpose of assessment is the process of finding out what learners have learned. So when they come to you at the age of 3, they don't come as a blank slate. They already have some understanding of things around them. They already know names of words and things and people. So they come with some basic skills. Where do we take them beyond that? Secondly, the model which we had on assessment, that was discover, decide, do, is very simple to actually implement in the class. It primarily says the teacher has to continuously keep on observing the learners. How are my learners learning? What is their way of learning? That information the teacher keeps in mind when she or he teaches something in the classroom. So for example, if my children already know what are the parts of plant, will I again teach them the parts of plant just because it is given in my lesson plan? No. I would rather take them towards the next step of exploring what does the each part do. And that's what is discover, decide, and do. The teacher keeps on observing and discovering how are my learners aware of things, how are they learning. Accordingly, the teacher decides what should be my next action to teach them. And continuously, she keeps on monitoring this, recording it, and reporting in her own diary on a continuum chart. You can create a kind of, I would say, a portfolio for each child, a kind of a folder where you keep on documenting their learning. There is something called as a show portfolio where we decorate the walls in the classroom. Usually the teacher decorates the wall. I always give a suggestion, why don't you put the work of the children? So you made your children trace A, collect each one's worksheets and put it on the bulletin board or on the wall for 1 week. That is basically celebrating their learning. And accordingly, you can give them the confidence that this is how the learning has to be monitored, measured, and celebrated. Now, to support you all over here, we have curated a document called Frequently Asked Questions. Okay. Now, this document will come to you today towards the end of the session. My colleague will be sending them to you on email. However, what I want you all to do is I'm going to open the document on my screen right now so that we can go through it bit by bit and try to see what has changed, what has got amended in the Cambridge curriculum. We have curated the document in a very simple language. All you have to do is please read it. Okay. If you have any specific questions for us, you can write to our email ID. It's school@cambridge.org. Don't worry about taking the screenshots. The document will reach you today. So let's start looking at what are going to be the changes in Cambridge Early Years program and what have we actually wanted to convey to you. So the first part is the curriculum. As I said, there are minor and some major amendments in the curriculum document, and it has already being circulated to you. So if you open your school support hub, you will see a new curriculum document. And the changes are basically, as I mentioned, the communication language literacy. For EY2 and EY3, we have now added English as first language or English as second language. So we have divided it into two parts. For EY1, it is still communication language literacy. Okay. There are new learning statements for English as second language because there were no learning statements earlier. The learning statements which you had for communication language literacy for EY2 and EY3 are basically the English as first language learning statements. So make a note of that in your notepad first. Secondly, there are some amendments to the scientific thinking strand of understanding the world. Okay, and as you can see on the screen, we have just rephrased it wherever possible. Wherever required, we have tried to add a new learning statement. So these are very minor changes, and we have included them already over here so that you can just go to the curriculum document and see them. Third, the digital technology curriculum that we had What we have done now is we have tried to look at it from the lens of, earlier it was primarily leading to digital literacy, which is a Cambridge primary subject. Now what we have done is we have tried to give the divisions to digital literacy as well as computing. So you will see different learning codes, different learning statements over there. So it will make the transition from early years to primary smoother. And lastly, in music, we have made some amendments, and those are, again, I have already put the codes over here for your easy reference. Those are available on the curriculum document. Okay, so requesting all of you to please download the latest curriculum document from School Support Hub. It is already available. It's a blue colored document now. Earlier, it used to be a purple colored document so that it's easier for you all to reflect to. It's 168 page long, by the way. So you'll remember which document you're downloading. Furthermore, what is changing on the School Support Hub? So earlier, if you all remember, our School Support Hub was more of a purple color. Now it's going to be of a blue color, and it is going to look like this. Okay. And if you see, we have added some more tabs over here. Kindly go to these tabs, download the documents which we have already provided to you all. Secondly, Cambridge will be now communicating majorly with you. You will get your updates on the School Support Hub. So please keep on checking these messages which you get from Cambridge. They are the communication, I would say, marketing related or something new that Cambridge has come up. So if you open your School Support Hub, you will start seeing this. I'm sure a lot of you have already started exploring this. Apart from this, there is a lot of question around how do we do our parent orientation, how do we communicate to parents, etc. Please look at the communication toolkit segment we have over here. Our marketing team has always been producing really good communication materials, marketing materials, be it posters, be it brochures, be it, I would say, how to use the logo. Please have a look at it in detail. Furthermore, what is now changing with, so curriculum, I have informed you about the changes. School Support Hub, the platform looks different. There are some new tabs. Please go through them. What is changing with resources? Now, for the academic year 2024-25, this is an important information for all the schools in India, so kindly pay attention. For the academic year 2024-25, the schools in India will continue to use these resources which you see on the screen. However, there is a change in the Understanding the World skill book for year 1, 2, and 3. And as I mentioned, the teacher's book has also been updated with all the relevant new lesson plans wherever required. Okay. For those who are not still familiar of using these books, please remember there is a learner kit with 7 books and there is a teacher's book. Please have a copy of the teacher's book. You will also see it on the Cambridge Elevate, which is basically where you find all the soft copies, all the digital copies. The teacher's book has got a clear connection of all the learning statements which we have in the curriculum document with the content from the learner's book. The teachers get detailed lesson plans with multiple activities. The task is not to do all the activities, but select the best activity that fits your classroom, your school, your context. Okay. If there are 4 ways to conduct one lesson on, I would say, counting numbers, you can try all 4 if time permits. If not, at least try 1 or 2. It's up to you. So for those who are not yet aware of Cambridge Elevate, please get in touch with your regional resource person or your regional managers for early years. In North, we have Mr. Rubal, we have Mr. Mohit. In West, we have Mr. Sanket, or you can get in touch with Mr. Akshay, Mr. Robin. In North, you can also get in touch with Mr. Inder, Ms. Prachi, Mr. Ankur. In East, you can get in touch with Ms. Arpita for your Elevate related queries, or Mr. Parikshit, Ms. Barnali. And in South, we have Mr. Dilip. Miss Anu, Miss Polumi, Mr. Pravin, Mr. Tamil, who else? Miss Arshia, Miss Monisha, Mr. Guru. So if you aren't getting it, please get in touch with your regional managers. Or as I said, you can write an email to schools@cambridge.org and we will get you in touch with the concerned regional person. Now, this is for schools in India. They will continue to use these resources for the academic year that is going to start now. I have already discussed this with the resource team. The resources should reach your school by the first 10 days of April so that you start your academic year soon. However, start going on the school support hub because the curriculum is already updated. Get yourself familiarized with it. And as I said, the skill book is only changing for understanding the world. Mathematics, literacy, everything is already aligned with the amended and the new curriculum document. Now, pay attention to what I'm going to say after this. What is going to happen from 2025? Okay, from 2025, these resources are going to be used by everyone around the world, including India. Okay, I'm repeating, the resources for the academic year 2025 onwards, that is next year, are going to change and we are going to use these international resources. Now, what we have done is we have already given you the access of these new international resources on your school support hub. But what you will have to do is you will have your EY coordinator or the head of department will have to set your Cambridge Go account. You will get all the information and the schools are going to get their login credentials in the month of June for the international resources. Now, what is going to happen is, why are we giving them to you in the month of June? So that the teachers, the coordinators, and the heads of department can start going through the international resources from June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You have good 6 to 8 months to study the new resources yourself and prepare your 2025 academic year in advance. Okay, I repeat, these resources which you see on the screen are going to be available. The sample copies of these are going to be available on Cambridge Go. You will get all the details and the links of it. The head or the coordinator will get the details. And from June onwards, you will get access to these codes. So don't be in a panic. It will reach to different schools at different phase in June because we have almost 130 schools. So we will start sharing the links and the login details to each school each day. So you will all get it in the month of June. However, what we want you to do is start reviewing it, start learning it so that you will be ready to use it from March 2025 or April 2025 onwards for your next academic year. The transitions have been taken into consideration and we will be doing some workshops region wise to support our schools to understand how to use these resources. Okay. However, be mindful that you have to place your orders for new resources between September to November. The regional colleagues will be guiding you on the same. Okay. And here I have also put a link already if you wish to see a sample copy. Okay. So these are the resources for 2025 onwards. I'm repeating again. And these are our resources for the current academic year, 2024 to 25. I hope this information is clear to all of you. Now, hereafter, what are we going to do is, let's have a look at the Cambridge Check Together. What is changing in the Check Together? Okay, I want you all to just read this part a bit because this email has already come to all the schools in the last 1 month. Please check your inbox. So the UK team had informed us that an email was sent to all the schools in India, the earlier schools in India, about what is changing with the Check Together. Okay, so Check Together is our baseline assessment, which we do in EY2 and at the start of EY2 and at the end of EY2. Now, what has changed over here? I'll take you through the points one by one. You will now be able to place your orders for Check Together directly using the order form on School Support Hub. So you don't have to fill a sheet and email it to Cambridge. There is a segment on School Support Hub. I will open the School Support Hub account in a while. You can place your order for Check Together directly over there. Okay. An email was sent to all the schools on 20th February. If you haven't read it, please open the document and read it. All the guidance was given over there. Another thing is, if you haven't done your school Check Together for this academic year, 23-24 already, please do it, because the India version of Check Together is going to retire on 30th of April. So if you want to download any of your old reports, please download and keep them with you before 30th of June. Because the international international version of Check Together is going to come live. And if you want to know more about the international updates about the Check Together, you can please fill this form once you get the FAQ document. All these blue highlighted words and phrases are hyperlinks. You can click on them. It will take you to the existing website page. Along with that, please keep a check on the emails. We are also going to conduct some webinars on new assessment and the platform, the Check Together. So please keep a check on your email so that you don't miss out on anything important. Lastly, there is a demonstration video which we have curated, an 8-minute long video to support you understand. You can also use that video to talk to parents about what is Check Together and how is it conducted and what is the benefit of it, the reports. So you will find that video over here. If you have any specific queries regarding Check Together, you may write it to our CHEM department, that is Center for Evaluation and Monitoring, and they will look into your query immediately. Furthermore, what is changing with professional development? What are the new updates with professional development? So earlier, you remember there used to be 2 trainings which were complementary. Now those 2 trainings will not be provided anymore. So we have made some changes to the way we will be engaging with our team, our teachers, our schools. Number one, we will be conducting webinars like this, like the way I'm conducting right now. Our UK team also conducts webinars. Please keep a check on your email for webinars which we do. These are your professional development opportunities. Along with that, we will also be conducting region-wise workshops. Your regional managers will keep you posted. We will start them from July onwards. So each school can nominate 3 practitioners to attend the workshop so that those 3 practitioners can go to the individual schools and cascade it. So if your coordinator and 2 teachers attend the workshop, which we do at different regions, it is their responsibility now to go back to school and share the learning with the other 10-20 team members. So these are the free or complementary professional development opportunities. Apart from that, we are also increasing our paid professional development opportunities, where the online introduction course, I'm sure all of you know about it. It's a 5-week long online program for teachers who are new or who want to know more about early years. Apart from that, the practitioners who have got at least 1 year of experience, they can enroll for assessment for learning in early years and focus on creating an environment for child-led play. Those workshops will also be a fruitful one. Moreover, we are now going to come up with the PDQ, that is a professional development qualification, a certificate in early years good practice. As of now, we are just going to start with the certificate. So you can get to know more about that as well. And lastly, the Cambridge Early Years Preparing to Teach. This is something new that we are coming up. the heads of department or professional development heads at school, you can basically undergo the preparing to teach program yourself. It will help you to curate smaller workshops which are suitable to your schools. The information will be out on the Cambridge website soon. So you can just click on these links to understand more about these different professional development opportunities. And if you have any concerns, you may get in touch with our regional training manager, Ms. Poonam Karnik. And if you want to know more about the paid trainings or the online trainings, which go on for 5 weeks, if you want to secure your seat, any questions you have about paid professional development program, you may get in touch with Ms. Poonam Karnik. And lastly, what else do we have? So there is a brief PDF document, a short PDF document on Guide to Cambridge Earlier support site. So a lot of schools keep on asking, we don't know how to use School Support Hub, we don't know how to download the documents, etc., etc. This PDF document has got all the steps with which you can actually go and see how to access the different portals and different resources which Cambridge has given you in the form of support sites. And lastly, we have a dedicated help section. If you have any FAQs to be asked, or if you have any query, if you want to know more, please go on the help section to find out more about Cambridge Early Years. So that's pretty much from my end. As I said, my colleague will be sharing this document with all of you today itself. Please, it's a friendly request, it's a friendly suggestion. Read the document word by word, sit with your team so that all of you will know what is changing, what is not changing, so that we don't press a panic button and we continue doing our good work the way we have been doing it. Lastly, I want to quickly take you through the School Support Hub, how it looks now. So it looks like this. If you all have not yet seen it, please go and see it. As I said, please click on the My Messages section so that you can see what all messages Cambridge is sending you. Okay, this is for all of you. A lot of schools keep on asking, we don't get the updates. We don't know where to find the updates. The updates are right here, my dear educators. All we need to do is, in a timely manner, go and check it at least 3 to 4 times in a week. So I'll quickly take you through it. In our approach section, you will see the key principles. There is a video on key principles. You can use this video for your parent orientation, for your teachers, workshops, orientation. Then we have a Cambridge Early Years International Handbook. Please read it. It's mandate that all the members in the school read it so that you know what are the responsibilities of an early years center. Furthermore, when you click on, I already showed you My Messages. When you click on curriculum, please read everything that we have given over here so that you understand what is Cambridge planning to do with your learners. So a lot of you already know that the Cambridge Early Years is aligned with NCF 2022, so that we wanted to make sure our learners in India get the best of not just the international approaches, but also what we need in our home country. So those documents, the curriculum document, the transition guides, all of it, the mapping guides, all of it are available here for your reference. They are downloadable documents. You may go download it, read it, print them out as per your choice. Under teaching support, a lot of them asked about assessment. A lot of them asked about strategies. Please go and explore these links. Cambridge has filled it with plethora of literature about what does good inclusive education look like, or what should be the learning environment like. How do you plan your lessons, or assessment guide? I saw one of them asking about more on assessment. Please read the information, the strategies which we have given over here. There are some snippets, there are some videos for you to explore and learn. Furthermore, the teaching learning resources. These are the international ones. The ones we are going to use in India are the existing ones. So you already know the difference between the two. We are going ones for the academic year 25 onwards. but the sample copies will be provided to you so that you can actually start planning your next year ahead. We will also be doing webinars. We will also be doing workshops. So please keep a check on it. Learn as much as you can. The check together, which I said you will be uploading now directly on the School Support Hub. It's right under measuring learner progress. So if you want to buy the licenses, you just click on this. It takes you to a simple form. You have to fill this form. See which is the assessment range that you fall in. Number of students. Okay, so it will automatically calculate itself. So you don't even have to worry about calculating the number of students. It's in GBP, it's in pounds. Then correct details of the coordinator is required. Please see that your email address is mentioned correctly and you have to submit the form. It's as simple as this now. So Cambridge has tried to make things easier for schools. As I said, the migration from the current earliest check together to new one, there is a document already put over here. Please download it and read it. 30th of April is like a deadline to conduct the assessments. 30th of June is the deadline to download and keep all your existing assessments and the reports. Communication toolkit, as I said, we have got tons of beautiful videos, fact sheets, posters. Please download them, use them for your internal events, marketing, putting it at your school lobby. It's your choice. And any help you need from Cambridge, you can just get in touch with us. As I said, the Cambridge Earlier Support site, the guide, frequently asked questions. If you have any specific questions for us, you can contact us over here. So that's all from my end, my fellow educators. To sum it up, the FAQ document will reach your inbox today. The recording will also reach your inbox today. My humble suggestion here is please go through it on Monday when you go back to school, explore it in detail, and you all will be doing really well with your learners starting the new academic year soon. So if you have any specific questions for me, you may please use the chat box. If you don't have any specific questions, you may please put your thank you feedback in the chat box over here so that it will give me a kind of a feeling whether all of you have understood, not understood, what is the thing. Thank you so much.
Akash,
Yes.
we have two questions in Q&A.
Yes.
One is, where can I find teacher's book?
Okay.
And
so where can I find teacher's book and Cambridge Elevate credentials? So Miss Priya, which region are you from? As I said, if you can also put your region, are you from north, south, east, west? I can guide you to who should be the colleague from Cambridge you should contact to. Certainly, Miss Meeta, we will be sharing the documents today itself. Please keep a check on your inbox, and thank you all for joining on Saturday, a longer weekend, but I think it was worth the time spent.
Is from south.
South. So if you're from south, Miss Priya, either get in touch with Miss Arshia, Miss Monisha, or Mr. Guru. So if you are from Hyderabad, then please get in touch with Miss Arshia. She'll be able to guide you. And I believe my colleague Miss Anuradha had already shared an email ID, schools@cambridge.org. If you have any questions specific, you may write an email to us and we will get in touch with you at the earliest. Thank you, and I hope to see all of you once again in person whenever I'm traveling to your region or your schools. I'm happy, Kuntal, that your questions were resolved and you got clarifications. Ms. Safina, what do you want me to repeat? Uh, Ms. Swapna, the Cambridge Elevate, as I said, you will have, so if you open your teacher's book, you have those codes on the left-hand side. When you open the teacher's book, you have to create your own Cambridge Elevate account and use the code. If you're from South, please get in touch with Miss Arshia. She will be able to guide you on this. So Miss Roslyn, wherever you see parent instructions, those are basically, so for skill book and workbook, since you are new, I'm telling this to you. The workbooks are for parents to work with children at home. The skill book is to be used at school. And in the teacher's book, you also have something called home link. So when you get the teacher's book, please go through the home link. The home link is basically a simple instruction for parents to conduct those activities with the children at home. Because as I said, Cambridge believes a lot in home and school partnership so that children don't just go blank when they go back home. So please look at the teacher's book for parent link. That will help you to understand how to basically dive into the curriculum. Hello, Kairos team. It's been a long time I have interacted with you all. All right. So since we have no more questions, we are going to end the meeting and we are going to give your 36 minutes back to you to enjoy your weekend. God bless you all. Take care. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank
Akash.
you. Thank you,
Bye.
Anuradha. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.